So welcome back, and thanks for following along as I transform my backyard into the garden oasis of my dreams. So we were walking around our local downtown the other day, and I was just looking at the planters and the containers like I usually do whenever I go anywhere, and I noticed that one of the planters actually had a small maple tree in the center, and I really loved that look because we have two pretty large maple trees around our property. They're dropping their seeds all the time, and come springtime and really through the year we have little maple saplings coming up all the time that I just weed out. But I thought the next time I see one, maybe I will keep one and try to grow a maple tree specifically for a container planting. And then I came out here the other day and realized that, so we have this pot in the corner. This is kind of a forgotten pot. So when we first moved into the house, my husband bought this. The sign is actually still on it. It's a Hollywood juniper topiary to put in front of the house. It didn't last very long. We just got way too much water that summer, and it couldn't handle it. But my husband was very attached to this tree, and is convinced it's still, there's a chance that it will come back to life, you know, magically, like years later. So he put it in this pot and put it in this corner and kind of refuses to let me do anything with it, to toss it. It's like a memory, I don't know. But anyway, I came over here and saw that there's a maple tree in here that has been growing that just kind of got overlooked, and this is actually really tall. I don't know how old this is. I'm not expert enough to tell by its height, but this is perfect, and it's already in a pot for me. Hey, welcome back. So it's been about 2 weeks since I last showed you this pot. You can see that it's lost most of its leaves except for this one that's hanging on. So what I would like to do is cut this old tree, get it out of the way, and then fill this with soil. And then I'm thinking I might even put some more bulbs in here so that we have another container of bulbs, and this maple tree will be the centerpiece. So I'm doing the chopping because my husband is just really connected to this tree and cannot bring himself to cut it down, which I can understand, having an emotional connection to certain plants. So this is just a regular sort of branch pruner shear, tree and shrub shear. It says that it can handle branches 1 to 1.5 inches thick. So this tree at the base is probably just about that. So let's do this. Okay. So to get the base, I'm using this saw that I'm slightly intimidated by, but here goes nothing. So, oh my gosh, okay. So the reason I'm not taking out the entire tree, including the root ball, is the maple tree is growing right next to it, and I don't want to disrupt the maple tree roots too much. So I'm leaving the root ball, plus I'm planning on filling this with soil. If you come a little closer, you can see that this could use like a good 4 inches of soil. So this is going to get covered anyway. So I do want to make a note. I'm pretty sure This is a Norway maple. It's basically a nuisance maple. The seeds came from probably most likely the tree right above it, which I think our neighbor said also grew as a nuisance, but they decided to keep it. Norway maples are not great because first of all, they're annoying all year round. First they drop pollen everywhere, then they drop their little green helicopter seeds, then their brown helicopter seeds, and their leaves. They are an invasive species. They're not great because they grow really tall and their canopies are really wide and they block out other plants from growing. It's really difficult for plants to grow at their base, so they kind of create this dead area underneath them, and they also have very shallow roots, so they topple over very easily, which we experienced last summer. We had another huge maple tree in our backyard and that fell. We have another one that's still kind of standing, and that one makes me really nervous. So this is not the best kind of tree to be growing. Like, I wouldn't plant a Norway maple on the ground. However, this is in a container, so it's gonna keep it kind of to a small height. It's also free, and it's already, you know, this is probably like two or 3 feet right here, and it'll make a nice centerpiece for this this is a cheap plastic pot. It's not like a fancy pot by any means, and I'm just kind of experimenting and playing around. But if I were to purchase a tree, I would not purchase a Norway maple. I've seen a lot of people do really beautiful containers with Japanese maples. Those are the ones that stay kind of compact, and they have those really pretty red leaves. So if I were actually starting from scratch and doing this for real and spending some actual money, that's what I would do. But this is my backyard project for fun. I think I can kind of turn it into something kind of nice and pretty for what it is. I'm going to point out one last thing. So we had one warm day, but it's been really cold. But look at these dandelions. They're doing fine. They did not get hit by the frost. In fact, they're even putting on seeds. So you gotta, like, I admire weeds so much, and I love weeds because they are so strong, and I will always, if I can, celebrate weeds and let them grow and do their thing. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye.